Some of the key differences that Webflow has to Muse is the way you build your web page. Webflow uses the box inside of a box model, which is what HTML has been used for years, and it also creates CSS style sheets for every time you edit a value on an object that you place onto your page. Now, how the box model works within HTML is, think of it as adding a box inside of a box, styling that box, and then adding elements inside of that box which are then styled independently and are containing everything inside a box which has style attributes, so therefore it doesn't interact with further elements you add on the page. For example, you can add a Webflow section here, and therefore you can add a container, and then inside that you can add a div, and then inside that you can add your text objects, images, etc. What this will then do is have a nicely central design page with a container and the text there. Now, I do recommend you go ahead and watch the Webflow 101 tutorials, as this will give you a better understanding to how Webflow works, but you can get a rough idea how the box inside of a box model works just by understanding some of the basic functionality of how web works. Another key difference that Webflow has over Muse is the heavy focus on CSS style sheets. Now, of course, you don't have to go ahead and create a style sheet for each object you create, but I do recommend you do this, as you can therefore recall it later on, and it's a good habit to get into when you create large websites. It works exactly the same as you would create a graphic style in Muse, but it is more visually based on CSS, and you can get a good understanding of how CSS actually works throughout the web. So that's just a brief rundown of Muse to Webflow, so you can easily get started with your future web projects.